Welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln, where we take a look around the Lincoln, Nebraska area and introduce you to business owners and influential people in the city. We are brought to you by Perch Merch. Perch Merch is a locally owned, custom screen printing and embroidery apparel shop that also specializes in vehicle wraps, decals, and all sorts of promotional products. If your business, school, or team is looking to expand your brand, head to perch-merch.com or call us at 402-217-5212.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln. I am your host, Chris Beecham, and I'm joined by my co-host, Henry Schmidt.
Hi, Chris. Good Monday morning to you.
Good morning. And our producer, Joe Cruz.
Happy Monday, Chris.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too.
Pleasure to be here.
Before we introduce our guest today, make sure you like, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. You can also find us on social media at Brand Lincoln Podcast on Facebook or Instagram, because we're savvy like that now that I have Instagram. So make sure you support us on there. Today in the Perch Merch studio is Carissa Anderson, who owns Euphoria, which is located at 4139 O Street. Hi, Carissa.
Hi, Chris. Good morning, everybody.
I'm just under the assumption that like everybody in Lincoln knows and has been to Euphoria, but I'm sure that's probably not 100% the case. Henry, have you ever been there?
Busted.
Is this the jewelry place?
Yes.
Wow, kinda.
Well, it's more than just that.
It's
Henry.
everything you could imagine.
I'm coming in blind. I kind of like going into podcasts, not really knowing what we're getting into.
I get my Pink Floyd posters from there.
Nice.
Sounds
Considering you're a
appropriate.
guy who can print posters, that's pretty cool.
Well, it's fine. That's my material that he's usually using, so this works out. So, okay, so let's start. Explain Euphoria.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
explain it all.
So Euphoria is, like Chris said, has a little bit of everything. My parents started it 45 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
45
Your parents
years
are
ago.
the original OG Lincoln
They are the
hippies.
OGs. Yep. Seriously,
They are awesome.
though, right?
Yeah.
I know we were just talking about, as we kind of expanded our clothing line recently, that Euphoria was the original boho.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Original boho,
Boho.
clothing.
What's
Yeah.
a boho?
Yeah.
Boho.
Buy
More
one, half off.
Get one.
That'd be,
Isn't it
That'd
get
be
one?
go.
Yeah.
Bo.
BOGO.
Oh, yeah, boho. No, boho.
Yeah, that's why I said buy one, half off.
So what is it?
Bohemian.
Okay.
Kind of like gypsy, flowy, you know?
Yes.
Just very raw, basically. You know, the style of everything goes together when nothing goes together. I mean, that's,
I think that's pretty spot on.
yeah.
What is like your number one thing that people come in for? Is there like the most, what's like the most popular?
Oh, boy. I would say incense.
Okay.
Yeah. Incense and gifts. We have a very, very wide array of different gift items. You know, we like the kind of funky, punky, I guess, into the metaphysical, the Wiccan, Christian. I mean, you can find anything and everything under our store. We believe that we're the hub that anyone can come in and find something that supports them. No judgment.
Very inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess I never looked at it like that, but yeah, for sure.
It's very true. And it kind of changes every time that I'm in
know
there,
it.
you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, even since high school, I mean, your parents, when they started it, there was nothing like that in Lincoln.
Nothing.
So when I say, yeah, they're the original, they are the original.
They are. And fun fact, 45 years ago, they started as kind of a head shop.
Shocker.
I know, shocker, Chris.
I had no idea.
Same location,
Yeah.
or was that?
No, and actually, Jeremiah and I were just talking about that this morning. 27th and Randolph, there was Open Harvest, Euphoria, and KZUM. And if you look at it now, they're all still in business. Yeah, it's wild. I remember as a little girl, I'd come to work, of course, and walk over to Open Harvest and get a pecan cookie and an apple juice like every day at Open Harvest. And so it's pretty cool to look and see all three businesses expanding so much, you know.
Apparently that was a good location to start.
Evidently, and now the building's torn down.
Oh.
And so I think throughout the years, you know, we had to kind of unname and unattach, you know, ourselves from the whole head shop idea. I mean, high school, right? Going to Pius, I was called into the office quite often because I was different, you know?
Yeah, it had a different stigma to it
Absolutely.
then than it does. Now there's nothing wrong with it. It is crazy how much we've progressed, even in Lincoln here.
Yeah.
You know?
It's been hard
So now
to go
there's
with
multiple
that, though.
stores that sell kind of the same stuff.
Truth. But we are the original.
Yeah, you're the original and the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of, I wouldn't say knockoffs, but a lot of stores that try to capitalize on a small portion of our store, right?
Yep.
And so actually when Jeremiah and I bought it last year in June, we really, have you been in there recently?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. It's okay. Like I said,
Well,
I saw
if
your
you
wife.
would return my text that I
Oh,
was texting
stop.
the wrong
Yeah,
number
wrong
to,
number.
I would go
Hello.
get my, yeah.
Yeah, that won't work.
Nope.
No.
But no, I need to get in there for a reading. So
Yes. Oh, gosh, totally.
Which you do that as well. We'll talk about that.
Yes,
as well.
we will. Yep. And so, like, okay, beforehand, I'm going to kind of go all over. Before we took over, it was like kind of cluttered, energetically chaotic, and it was probably a person with ADHD and extreme sensitivity, the worst nightmare.
But your dad would know exactly where everything was.
Oh, definitely. And
Anytime,
I did too.
many times, like,
know.
what are you looking for? I'm like, I'm looking for the crystal thing. He's like, oh, come on, you know, round the corner, move some shirts, right here.
He would.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know, Billy. He is such a master. I know. You're right, though.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so it was probably 3 years ago. My parents and I had really started talking because, you know, ever since I was in college, quit because I was pregnant with my first daughter. My parents had a offer to buy Euphoria, and it was unknown. Oh gosh, what's the word? Unknown.
Anonymous purchaser type
yeah,
thing.
pretty much.
Okay.
And I remember sitting with them, and I was like, "You guys haven't even been able to really expand like you wanted." They're like, "We want out." I'm like, "Okay, so if I quit college and help you run it, will you keep it?" And they're like, "Well, you have to be really serious about this." I was like, "Okay." So I started managing 24 years ago. And ever since then, the talk has been that I will have the business someday. So 3 years ago, it was very clear that the internet was really starting to kind of feed out more of the information on metaphysical and how to use crystals, what to do with them. And I remember just about losing my mind going, no. And there's all these young kids coming in for Moldavite, and for any of you that don't know, Moldavite is one that will rock your world. And
Like, okay, hold on.
yeah,
like, oh, it's like a what?
a crystal.
Okay.
It's a mineral.
Got it.
Yeah.
When you say "rock my world," is
Yeah.
that a dad joke or?
No. I don't want to go there. I don't know. But it is.
Minerals are rocks, right? Is that
Rock my world. Yeah. Well,
Oh, I
it
get it.
will
I get it now.
transform everything. Like shatter your everything, right? Like the things that you were building up, if it's not serving you, it'll break it down. And so all these young teenagers are coming in for it. And I'm like, do you even know what you're getting yourself into? And kept saying to the staff, you know, give them a grounding stone with it, something, because they have no idea. It's all over TikTok. Use Moldavite, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
TikTok. So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is all brand new to me.
okay,
So
ask away.
You're not a teenager.
Well, no, but I've never studied crystals or minerals to know that they give off energy or.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They were attuned with different frequencies. So
Okay.
when the wearer, the holder, starts to use it, it's going to give you exactly what it was meant to do. And I know it's kind of out there.
I might need to. Okay,
Start small.
we can check later, but I might become a crystal guy now.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll
they're
get in.
so
You are.
cool.
I am.
You are?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Chris is.
Yep.
Yeah. I know we're kind of jumping all over.
It's fine. There's no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason to our podcast as it
Okay.
is.
All right, so
I love
these
it.
teens, they watch a clip on TikTok and get a great idea, or just think it's pretty and just go buy it for the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, because two of their
Little-
friends have it now and think it's cool.
But little do they know that
It's gonna rock their world.
affect them.
It's going to rock their
Yeah,
world.
I'm completely blind on this too. I don't participate in TikTok very often. So
I don't have TikTok.
okay,
I
but you
just
have kids that walk in and say,
Yes.
"Hey, I saw this online.
Yes.
You have it."
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And I just remember going, oh my goodness. And even things like cleansing your crystals under a full moon. And I'm going, no. So it was there. You just don't do that. And I remember thinking there has to be some education, right? Because we have all the things, but TikTok isn't where the education is, right? And I'm not saying I have all the right answers, but having studied it for decades, I'm like, I would like to at least be able to give one more interpretation. And if it vibes with them, it's my truth. It's what I've seen work. And so it was right then and there at that time that my parents and I were really talking about how the store was going to move forward. And they were tapped out. They didn't want to do change. They didn't want to move things around and head in a different direction. And so one of the things is that I was feeling that overly stimulated in there, and I didn't even know which way to turn, like where to put energy into. And so I remember having the conversation with them about how I thought we could kind of simplify the store, but expand it in ways, and they just weren't about it. And so I was like, we butted heads, and we have Capricorn, Taurus. So we were like real at each other. I just said to them, I love you guys so much that this is not how I want to remember our relationship. So please put it up for sale. And so I left.
What year is this?
This would have been 21. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, is walked away from all that. But I knew that it couldn't go the way it was. So I spent about a year doing my own thing and doing more spiritual education. And come full circle, Jeremiah kept saying, Jeremiah is my partner, my boyfriend, life partner, and now business partner. And he's like, we got to do it. And I was like, no. Okay, you have one more conversation with my dad, and if it works, cool. And if it doesn't, we never talk about this again, right? And I think that's all my parents needed to hear, was that I was going to have somebody else very serious and involved with me, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Once you go in, now imagine it 3 times as full. And it was just, so yeah, we bought it and started to really clear it out and bring more light into it, less overwhelm. And now we're really starting to focus more on education. We hired a social media manager. So we're now on Instagram and Facebook, not TikTok yet. I don't know.
I don't think you need it.
I don't think so. Okay,
Well,
maybe.
you might as well be part of a trend that is more accurate and correct than the
Dang.
ones that are going out there.
You are correct. Okay, well, yeah, so we hired this girl from Florida. She now is part with us, and we're doing the things, right? We actually have something called Misconception Monday, where we are starting to kind of
That would be a perfect
share
TikTok
all of the things.
topic right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
we
One
did it.
more thing.
Us, the
Yeah.
expert of social media right here.
For sure. We just got Instagram. What do we know?
It's so much to keep up on.
It is. And
Yeah.
we're too old for this.
Oh my gosh, that's why we hire the youngsters and the newbies. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's awesome. That's really exciting to open that new door for this
is.
shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Because I think as we were beginning to kind of converse on, the expansion has happened. I mean, I do really believe that, during that shutdown, people started to really kind of go, oh my gosh, life isn't what it was. Who am I? What do I have to do? Where is my place? And people started to really examine themselves. And as we know, crystals are the things that support part of that transformation. So everybody kind of started to wake up, and yeah, here we are to support.
You said you started a new clothing line. So let's kind of go back to that.
I wouldn't say we started a new clothing line, but expanded. Yeah. Well, for those that don't know what boho clothing is,
Bohemian.
Sadly,
Not buy one half off.
No.
It's not a hell of a
was really
sale every
close.
time.
It was really close.
You could run that special with it, though.
We have been running specials like that, actually. Yeah, no, that it's a good way to get it out there for sure.
What made you bring that into the store?
Well, it's how we started, and then over the years, it just kind of fell to the wayside, I guess. Or, well, everything has trends, right? And it kind of fell off, and now, sadly, you see it in a lot of the department stores, and it's just not original. And so we kind of went to some of our older companies and started to get it back in, and it was just so much fun. And so we expanded that, and yeah, we're just going to keep going with it. We do have a young girl that works for us, and she just graduated UNL as a fashion designer. And so I'm like, hello, perfect opportunity. We can sell your line of clothing.
Well, people like things that are not mass produced.
Totally.
You know,
Oh, absolutely.
You're not going to worry about going out and having somebody wear the same.
I know, and look better than you.
Yeah.
I know.
Ridiculous.
Totally.
Happens to Chris all the time.
That's why I
to
always
Chris
wear
on
whatever
Saturday
Joe's
night.
wearing. So.
Oh, my gosh. Right? I can just see how the relationships are here.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like my home life. So it's just I come to work and get away from nothing.
Sorry, Dad.
So as far as like, again, you offer a vast supply of everything, you know, from statues to just a lot of cool, weird art.
Yeah.
And like, so do you use local suppliers for this sort of stuff? Where do you get your inventory for all this stuff? How do you find it? What do you do?
Yeah. I would say we have about, that we consistently order from, I would say 150 different companies.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Over the years, my dad and I kind of got the number. We've probably had about 1,000 vendors.
Oh, my God.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
You know? You're yeah.
I mean, gosh, I remember when I was 12, we took a month-long vacation out in California, or all West Coast, and the different companies that my parents picked up during that time, I mean, that's how we do it, right? We do have local companies that come to us, and it feels really good to support local. Gosh, how else do we get companies? I think they just kind of come to us, really.
Well,
Kind
now
of
that
what
you're
I kind of
established,
assumed, yeah. That you probably just have random people coming in like, hey, I do this, you know, would you sell it?
Yep.
And I don't see you saying no.
You don't think so? I have a little business savvy that kind of comes out.
But I'm just saying, like, if it's unique and cool, you're doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes they think it's unique and cool, and sadly, I have to kind of drop the news.
You saw this on TikTok, didn't you?
Yeah, I
That's
know,
why
right?
you're here.
Just put your little spin off it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where are your parents at now? Didn't they get like a RV and are touring the world?
Right? Their Astro van.
Is that what it is? They are such hippies. I love them.
They are. I know they are. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about anything, really.
And they don't miss it at all, do they? It's just do they try to?
Nope. As a matter of fact, this is kind of funny. When we were meeting with all the attorney stuff, right, to sell the business, there was one little clause in there that I was like, I can't sign this. This is like single mom here putting everything more than I could possibly have on the line. And my dad just didn't get it because, I mean, our relationship is very, I have you. Like, he wouldn't let anything happen. However, we're getting stamped by the state, by everything. You owe this. And you never know if your parents are going to lose their mind as they age. And so third day in the attorney's office, I'm going, I'm sorry, I can't sign this. And my dad's going, oh my God, come on, Carissa. My mom's going, just sign the papers. And I'm like, I can't. And I just kind of, pushed myself away from the table. And I was like, okay, to be honest, Dad, I am scared to death to put $750,000 on the line and have you micromanage me. And I couldn't believe I said it, And his attorney puts everything down. He goes, I'm kind of worried about the same thing, Greg. And so it was really sad because this beautiful thing, I signed the papers. He kind of adjusted it a little, right? But it was very like, it didn't feel like we had hoped. So leaving that day, my dad took it as, she doesn't want me there. I'm not supposed to come in. I'm not supposed to do what I'm not supposed to give my opinion. So it took a couple months for him to even come in. And I kind of believe that that's the way it was supposed to happen. He needed that swift kick out, like, you are retired. Get the fuck out of here. Go do it,
Well, I'm sure any family
It was
business,
his
this is
baby.
probably the shift has got to be hard for kind of everybody.
And there was no...
It's hard enough running a family business,
and then to hand it over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no intent for him to like stay employed at part-time or anything, or just running the business for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
Being like stopping in, checking things out, making sure.
They are...
Start questioning.
Do you have any
everything,
questions? I'm right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are consultants. So, I don't know. It's just interesting.
Self-proclaimed
how it all, well, documented,
Got it.
Yeah. So, and they even have made the comment lately, you don't ask enough questions. And Chris, you've been there. Like, where do you even begin?
Yeah.
Right. So we're like, well, how about you come in and tell us everything that we're doing wrong or not doing, and that's how we'll understand where we need to ask questions, right? And so that's supposed to happen here real soon. We'll find out what we're...
We might have a two-parter
Oh.
episode.
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine Greg in here?
I think it would be awesome. I'm not going to
Do
lie.
it. Shoot.
Just his adventures, probably
just sit back
since
and
he
listen to
retired.
stories.
So
what are they doing now? He's still doing the real estate thing. They bought
Yep.
another house. He's, he has a vision, very good eye for making old houses beautiful and, keeping the character, but also making it new. And my mom, she's so happy not being there. She is so happy not being there.
well, good for them.
That's great.
I know. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So okay, we kind of went through the retail aspect, and now since you've taken over, you've offered a lot more services.
Correct.
So let's go through a little bit about the services. Tell us what else you offer.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So anything.
Henry, you ready for this? 'Cause
Yeah.
this is
I've got a
gonna
pen and
be
paper.
Seriously. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
so
completely blind to this. So.
Should I start with what I offer or?
Yeah, let's go with what you offer.
Oh man.
The most popular.
Well, I would say this year I'm very limited in what I am offering because
You're busy. Yeah.
Busy. And, I want to focus on whole, not fragmented parts of myself or for, the client's sake. But as Chris knows, I do pendulum readings. So you ready? Do you know what a pendulum is?
It's the thing that swings back and forth, right?
Yeah. Very good.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
And then you read something while that's swinging back and forth.
Yep. So I studied with a guy who created it's 150 pages of charts. So one chart has a lot of information. And so I use the pendulum, connect with their high self, which is like the most raw and exposed, highly accurate part of yourself. And we connect and just basically ask, like, what is it that we need to know at this time? Because we have so many blockages within us, like whether they're things that we tell ourselves and we don't even know, or maybe people that are involved and their attachment is affecting us, or, it can go into physical body, mental body, emotional body, business decisions. My gosh, what else? What has come up for you in readings.
Probably relationship stuff.
Oh, yeah. Relationships. Oh, yeah. I know
sorry,
you say it with Chris.
Thought it was good. Okay.
Well, between us is what I'm talking about.
Attachments come up a lot, It is crazy how accurate you are.
It's not me.
It's yes, but the reading is kind of mind blowing. I suggest anybody try at least once in their life, at least
Thank
from
you.
you. Well, you're busy,
Thank you.
but still, like
No,
like I said, I have to go back because it obviously your body and your universe around you changes, so you need
Totally.
to always get an updated
Every
reading.
so often. Yeah, right?
Yeah, and
You have my number now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have the correct number.
I know. Yeah, it's true.
I don't know why somebody didn't text me back like, wrong number, bro.
Oh,
Let's try it here.
I agree.
They should have said yes and try to set it up, and then we don't have her show up. We should.
That's
So that would've been really
just
funny.
random person shows up.
That would've
I
been
just want to be on
awesome.
a podcast. Man.
Yeah. I would do that if it were me. Heck yeah.
Might be the best show yet. Who knows?
That's awesome. You are right, Chris, though. It does change. And one thing I think, too, in coming into a session like that, we might think, okay, this is going to come up. But when we go in with no expectation, that's when, like, the real nitty-gritty comes out, right? And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Just like it's not a psychic reading. It's not telling you your future.
I don't believe in that.
It's telling you your present. Henry's looking at me.
So
with a very deep
when
thought.
you say pendulum reading, you're reading the person or you're reading a script book item.
the person,
Their aura, right?
Oh,
their energy field.
Yeah.
just by talking to them.
I mean, yeah, it's a two-way thing, but I use the book to get kind of the pointers, and then we go off of that.
What does the book look like?
Yeah, it's a spiral-bound chart. It's really interesting because I've gotten to
the
the point.
pendulum goes over the book.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Each page has its own chapter of your body.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Nope.
Okay, we really need to have like you do that, Henry. I think
Yeah.
it's very eye opening. I know it sounds
Well, and
Kinda.
those are like baselines for me, right? Like I can see something and I'm like, huh. And that's where the intuition kicks in. That's when it's like, then we get personal, right? Because some of the things on there don't make any sense. And as far as logically. And as far as the future stuff, I don't believe in predicting the future because we have such choice in the matter. So I could tell you that something's going to happen, and then you're going to be like, I'm going to do everything she didn't say or she said not to do. And then that changes, right? So we read the now, like what is in your best interest. And if you put focus on these things, then the best outcome's going to come. Or again, sometimes it's like the things that we never would have thought are important. And those are the things that come up, and you know where to put your attention to. Right?
correct.
Yeah. But the whole future thing, I have had, like say for instance, this guy, I did a lot of sessions for him. And one session in particular was so strange. It had all this medical stuff coming up. And I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but write it down. That's what I always suggest. Write it down because it may come in handy. So again, we have all these like very medically terminology, these words and supplements and Chinese herbal remedies and all this stuff coming up. And it was kind of like, take it as you will. And so about 3 months later, his wife called and she said he almost died. And he had this really rare condition that came up. And she said, no shit. You had given us everything the doctor needed.
No way.
It was pretty crazy. I still am blown away by it.
Wow.
But again,
I should probably get a reading immediately.
it is almost creepy how accurate it is.
I mean, that's spirit, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's this part of us that if we would just get out of our own way, spirit works in miracle ways, you know?
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So again, I've even had somebody that there's a chart in there that is your teeth I know, it's weird. And the different placements of your teeth, the numbers, and then different procedures that can come up. And again, it was kind of one of those, I don't know what this means, but write it down. And sure enough.
Highlight it, make a note of it.
Yep, pretty much. A month later, they had a infection in that tooth. And had they not known, they might have had to have it rot, I guess, and fall out. So.
Do you have some people that come like weekly? What's a normal schedule for something like that?
Bi-weekly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great question. So when I left Euphoria, I started another business called Spirit Upload. And that was more personal, intuitive guidance. And we were meeting bi-weekly. And that has to be for a pretty dedicated student, right? Somebody that will do the work. So I give them homework, which is their participation in it. And it's just the best way you can grow is if you show up, right? And then when I got back to Euphoria, I really had to pause all that. But I believe that every 2 weeks is like perfect, because if you keep piling information on, you don't actually get to do the work, right? But as Chris said, I would say every 6 months get a reading, because so much can change in 6 months. It has a little roadmap, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I do them on myself sometimes, and I'm like, damn. I'll do a recording, and I'll just be like, because how I've gotten is I just sit with the client and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to just be quiet for a sec, and the pendulum's going everywhere and I'm writing stuff down. And so for my own self, I'll hit record, and when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, damn, whoa, all these, whoa, oh. And it's just really fascinating at some of the things that can come up. And I'm like, okay, like, wow, that was really good. I just get outside myself, and some of the coolest things happen. Mm-hmm.
It'd be badass if we recorded yours as a podcast.
That seems
bonus episode.
That seems quite invasive.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
I've done it for
your
the
genuine
collective.
Reaction to it would be
Camera on.
yeah.
There.
Yeah, make a reel of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There you go, Chris.
We're like,
But
we all
I've
know
done
what's
it-
wrong with Henry now.
That's the complete opposite of my comfort zone right there.
I know. That's why we should do it.
Yeah, you're right. You would be the perfect candidate for that.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
Are you
Henry.
more logical?
Oh,
Like-
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, complete other end of the spectrum, I would say.
I see that a lot. But I also see
I would have been the same way.
people stepping into both worlds.
Yep.
Right?
Seeing both sides.
Yeah. Because we cannot make sense of half the shit out
Yeah.
there,
Try to.
We can try to.
It just doesn't work.
No.
Makes
All
sense
right,
to me. I
it's
don't know what you
on.
guys are talking about.
I love it.
We could even
So-
bring Brittany on. You guys could do it together.
Oh, that'd be
before you go.
super thrilling.
Who's Brittany?
We'll do it before they get married,
Wife and
Yeah.
the wife
And
in
then one
5
after.
weeks.
and then we'll do it after they're married.
Oh, I've totally done couples.
you and
Pretty
Michelle do this?
awesome.
Not
Or is it a
together,
solo
no.
thing?
It's a solo thing for us. We like to think we're good together, but
You're great together.
we are not separate. So we each have our own things in life.
It's oftentimes our partners come in though.
Yes, that is very
like,
true.
Absolutely. And kind of puts you in check and them in check, really. It's just how can you participate together for the best. But going back to, I do
So that's
them
one
as
thing you
collective.
do. That's one thing you do.
That's one thing. Yep. But reading as a collective, right? We can do charts and just really kind of identify with the energy out there. Like, because you can't deny, right? Sometimes you talk with people and you're like, oh my God, I'm going through that same thing. Or you too. Ugh. Or there's a heaviness. And to try and kind of get a read on what the heaviness is. Because everything happens for a reason. I believe that. And how we can join hands and kind of grow together. That's really what it's all about. We are personal, but we are together.
Great.
So, yep,
Yeah.
we can do collective readings. What else do we do? I do flower essence therapy. So kind of get different flower essences were discovered hundreds of years ago. And you take the essence of a flower And when you ingest it, it actually goes in and heals different parts of our emotional body. So I make personalized tinctures.
What's a flower's essence? Like the smell of it,
The
or
healing
The essence of a flower?
properties. So just like herbs, right? They have the ability to heal.
okay?
And so they extract them and then distill them in alcohol and preserve them. So then when you put it in your body, it's such a subtle kind of energy shift. And the cool part about it too is when I create your tincture, I also listen to the affirmations that are coming in, because what it's doing is it's just helping you shift your how you're feeling about things. Like oftentimes maybe something that is so big within you and you can't put your finger on it. But then when the flower essence is presented and you know what its healing property is, and then that affirmation, it's almost like that instant, like, fuck no, right? Like that resistance to it. And then when the subtle medicine kind of kicks in, it's like a softening, and then you kind of become one with that, right? It's hard to describe. You just have to feel it. Really.
I'm going to a
It's
concert
crazy.
tomorrow night. Would it be good to take right before the concert?
It's not like that,
Oh.
Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Where are you going? What are you going to see?
Vampire Weekend.
What's that?
Nice, Joe.
I know, right?
Yeah. No,
Henry went
it
to
has to build
Creed
up.
this last
Creed
week.
was good. It was fun.
Creep?
That one I can get
Creed.
behind.
Creed, really?
Yeah.
Wow. They're still around?
They just
Touring?
came back.
They're making their way
Okay.
back.
It's
Yeah.
called the
Wow.
the 99 tour, because I think that was their last tour.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Wow.
They are not 25 anymore.
Neither are we.
Nope.
I'm 26.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
anyway, moving on.
Wow.
Okay, so we have a lot of services.
It won't make you trip, though.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It has to build
Again,
up in your
sorry.
body.
I'm still open to it.
Okay.
You just stick with your beer.
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through your oh shit moments. Like
Yeah.
you've only been an owner for not a long period of time, but you've been anticipating being an owner, and you've been part of this business for, like you said, 20 some years.
Yep.
So let's start with the good. Like, especially since you've been owner, like, was there like a oh shit moment where I'm going to succeed in this, I'm going to make this place even better than it was? Like, is there a certain instance
Yeah.
that comes to your mind? You're like, me and Jeremiah are like, you know, you give each other that look, or you went home and be like, oh, today was it, man. You know,
That's every day.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, but thank you for that reminder. I think it's important sometimes to take a step back. We moved all but, let me think, 2 cases in the entire store. So, you know, it's 4,500 square feet, and we moved everything in there. So we created more of a flow, which
I will need to stop
wasn't
back in there. I
there.
suggest everybody stop in there,
Yeah.
at least just to look around. There's
up.
no reason you would not find something that you were like, this is, I kind of want this.
Yeah, it's like a museum almost.
It
Yes.
is. Yeah, it is actually. And yes, we still know where everything is. That was kind of a shock, though, when we started moving everything. Yeah, I think once we really got things moving around and started to see people's reactions, we were like, yeah, this is going to work, you know, because people weren't so overwhelmed coming in. And also, we took about, I would say, a third of the merchandise out of there. And
You had a boho sale.
no, that's coming. Yeah. We're marketing more towards like a reseller sale, because that's how much stuff came out of there.
Wow.
And so we're renting, we're going to buy it next year, but we're renting a house behind Euphoria, and we're going to use that for more classes and
Oh my
different
gosh,
services.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it would be real fun. But seeing everything in it now, that was kind of that, oh, whoa, we are going to, we will thrive, because there's some things in there that probably had been there
Long time.
for a few moons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a few. And so, yeah, once we kind of saw all that clutter leave. It was like, yeah.
Yeah,
we're
I can
gonna do
envision it.
well. Yeah, you can. Man.
Then your dad comes in. Where'd my thing go?
Been trying to sell that for 20 years.
Yeah. I know, right?
Or oh my gosh, you sold that? Yep, Dad.
Yep, sure did.
They loved it. Yeah.
Well, that's real, though, right? Like, and I think that's, I mean, Capricorn, Taurus, right? We have that connection to earthly things. So it was really hard for me to let go of some of the things because it had attachments. Like,
Oh, sure.
I remember when we bought this, or I remember who we bought it from. You know, there is a lot of that.
Yeah.
Get this though, when my dad and mom finally came in, right? 2 months in to the switchover, he came in the front door. That was it. And then like 5 months later, once we had really moved things around, we invited them in, right? Like, can you just please come in and can we show you what we've done? Because they bought like really cool olden fixtures from like pharmacies and sliding glass doors, like just so many beautiful things that were covered up. And so we started to bring things to light. So when he finally came, he walks around, and you'll see when you come in how much things have changed. He walks around, he's like, I fucking hate it. With a smirk. So that means he's all right with it.
Got it. That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah. So that was kind of that. Yeah, there's just been a lot of those moments.
That's
know?
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the more you have, as long as you have more good oh shit than bad oh shit, that's good.
Yeah, and we have, let's see, two staff members that were there before I left Euphoria, and then coming back, you know, kind of original that had been there for a few years. And just seeing everybody's excitement, and as we kind of move things around, they're kind of like, oh, I've been waiting for this, you know.
Yeah, gets their excitement back.
Yeah. We have good, dedicated employees. Yeah, that's great.
So let's move to the bad oh shit moment.
All right.
And I know you've been through it. But,
Gosh.
so like, was there a time, especially probably since you've been owner, that you just felt defeated and you didn't know if this was going to be for you?
I'm trying to think if I've had any of those.
Spectacular answer again.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, yeah, if that's, like I said, as long as I just shoot for more good oh shit days than bad oh shit days.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the hardest part, I mean, and you might think it's a little woo-woo and crazy, but I notice the days are typically around the full moon or different planetary alignments, and I've gotten to the point now where I can kind of recognize what's happening, and then I just surrender into it. Like, don't push through. I mean, I still do, you know, like, it's like...
Don't fight it.
No.
I love that aspect.
Yeah. Well,
that is a whole nother way of looking at it. Huh.
It's part of it. Well, when you have all of the crystals in there that are emitting all these energies, right? It's kind of like, what do you do? And so, yeah, I'm a sensitive person, you know, energetically. So I've learned to just kind of surrender into. And some of the oh shit moments, I think, are when you realize how much work you have ahead of you in one day. But that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's better than the alternative.
We're going through that exact same thing right now at the shop.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yeah, it's a good
how you
stress.
look at it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we almost didn't even have Joby on this podcast because he is
Has
just
so much to do.
Some
has so
designs,
much
yeah.
to do. So, but then,
Yeah.
again, that's awesome. Like, yeah. So I'm in that happy oh shit moment here at Perch Merch right now. You know.
That's great.
Yeah.
I've learned it's like I have so much to do, or I have so much I get to do.
Okay. You
Should say that at the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put that on top of the board.
Should have told Joe that at about 10 a.m. on Friday. Joe,
get
you're
to
so
do it.
lucky.
It'll
Now get
probably
to
work
work.
for like a week, and then Joe's going to take that stupid sign down.
Go get a crystal or two, Joe.
That's right.
So,
Might have to.
okay.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Okay? What's our? You just talked about how you bought the house behind. So tell us what the plans are for Euphoria going forward.
Yeah. Really to educate people more. Like, we have all the materials, the items, the
When you say
tools.
classes, do you want to like tell me? Give me an example of a class.
Well, how to use a crystal, how to choose a crystal, or
So it's for just anybody off the street type thing.
Totally.
Okay.
yeah. I've been.
And once you advertise it on TikTok and stuff,
I know it's just going to be
Blow up.
growing. Oh my God! Seriously.
be like, that influential guy who came and did basketball or whatever. It's going to be like that outside that house.
Sweet. Oh my gosh!
LeBron
I know
James.
what you're talking about.
No, there was
Yeah.
some. I do not follow him, but some
On South Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. Showed up to play basketball.
Well, they
Oh,
were at
police
the
had 1,000,
UNL. They were at the
1,000
UNL courts,
kids
but they got
showed
kicked
up.
off.
Yep.
Think of that kind of power.
I love it.
But with
No
crystals
kid.
instead of basketballs.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just a bunch of just hippies in line.
I forget sometimes.
And the ones that aren't dressed right, you just sell them the
I
clothing
know.
line. Be like,
That's
"You're
right. That matches. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on in here to the store first.
That's right. Uh-huh. Well, I think the hardest part for me is to remember to start simple, Like, I need to come about it and I'm teaching you. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
don't know
that's
anything.
really hard for me
Because you're on this side and I'm way over here. Probably
I get-
even further that way. And you're
see
farther
a lot
that
of
way.
the looks, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, back it up.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it's no different from like coaching, I guess, or something like that, and you're
Yeah.
stuck with little kids playing T-ball and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Home run now already, right?
Yeah.
What kind of swing was
Run
that?
the right way to
That's
first base.
right. Yeah.
That's basically what it makes sense.
We are also, how do I even explain it? We are offering different kinds of energy work every weekend at Euphoria. Saturdays for sure, and many Sundays we have different healers that come in.
Yeah, I've seen that on your Instagram and
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah.
And so with everyone that I'm kind of hiring in there, we're really trying to remember to kind of build up and going with the small, simple things. And it's kind of like a foundation, right? Once you teach the small things that build, then, the expansion's really going to happen. But we're going to do classes on, Reiki, chakras, crystals. Have the opportunity to do one-on-one, but then bigger class sizes, and then work into some Zoom sessions and online instructionals.
I like it.
Yeah.
Were your parents doing classes like that?
No. That was a lot of the resistance is and I don't blame them, my dad is a very, very intuitive man, and he won't tell you that, but they are very, they're visionaries, they can see things ahead of their time, but they just don't know. It's not like the wordage they use. But no, they weren't. My mom had a tarot reading, 30 years ago, and it scared the shit out of her at how accurate it was. And she was like, nope, not for me. So there was kind of that conflicting energy there. But no, they weren't. I've never done a reading for my parents. I was just thinking about this the other day.
It's probably good.
I think so too. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Maybe someday I will. But no, they'll bring the stuff, but they won't teach it, And so right now I'm really all about, why do we have the things we do? You have to know as you step into this, what you're doing.
Especially since that's what's becoming.
Yeah, it's all over.
Yes. Yeah. So you might as well educate so it's right.
Totally. Yep. Isn't that anything?
Yeah. So where can people find you online, and then what are your store hours?
Our store hours, I'll start there. We're open 6 days a week, 11 to 6, closed on Tuesdays. We are on Instagram and Facebook. Euphoria's Curiosities is our name. We brand it, or we had somebody brand us when we started, and I think that's a good way to think about it when you come into Euphoria is your curiosity is going to go wild. And
Fact.
Yeah. We encourage you to come in and wander. Yep. And look up and look down, because not everything is eye level.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So you kept that aspect of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing goes together, yet it does. You know? Mm-hmm. Like hitting back on the religion aspect, you know, when you have something that is Christian and Wiccan, there's people that are like, what is going on? And I think we're kind of weeding them out. I say it like that, but we just want it to be a place that you can come in and feel welcome.
Yeah. All inclusive. I really like
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
Joe, we do have a closing segment.
Oh, we do? Yes.
I just let them do this.
I actually,
I love it.
I have two little Euphoria stories.
Please.
Before the closing segment.
Yes.
Yes.
The very first time I heard of Euphoria, I was in 8th grade, and Jay came to school with the coolest little necklace. And the next week, all the boys had the same necklaces. They went to Euphoria, found some really cool stuff. And then I just mentioned this to you because we were at a wedding last December together, or at the same wedding I was DJing. And I had to share the story because I just love it so much. I was seeing a girl in high school, senior year. I was thinking about asking her out. So I went to Euphoria to find a Claudio ring with the Irish heart hands.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I was going to,
And the crown.
Yep, and the crown.
Mm-hmm.
And she helped me pick out the perfect one. And I gave it to this girl, and we're both happily married now.
Are you kidding me?
Not to each other, but
Our heart was facing out.
I never even asked her
romantic
out,
joke.
like as a girlfriend. I was too nervous. I was like, "Here's the ring," and then we
Just toss it at her like,
and then we,
catch.
yep, that
Got it.
was exactly what happened. But yeah, no,
Wow.
it was a great experience coming to you to help pick out the perfect ring for it, and
Love it.
And it worked out great.
yeah, it sure
Especially
did.
at that age, though, like we overthink it as males in high school.
In high school and every other day. Yeah,
That's true too. But yeah, especially jewelry back then. I mean, Shopko Black Hills Gold was always like 75% off.
Oh my gosh,
just-
Chris. True. Yeah.
Saying.
And Shopko's no longer in business, right?
I don't think so.
no, they're not.
But good point, though.
Probably
do-
because they sold Black Hills Gold for
I
75%
know.
off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no kidding, huh? We do custom jewelry, and we have. Did I not mention jewelry?
did not.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
actually, that's how Joe introduced you, so that helped.
Yeah.
It's a jewelry store.
No, that's what
Yeah.
I said.
Oh, somebody did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It
what I
is.
thought
I'm
it was.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
now my
Henry
it's been a
said.
bit more expansive than jewelry.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I do remember the smell.
Yes, that's still
It
there.
smells different than most
Incense.
stores.
Different.
All the incense.
It is, yeah. It's years of different ethnic items coming in, and incense and oils. Yeah, we could, if we could bottle that scent, we could.
Sell your own
be
candles,
rich.
like
Yes, I know.
like
Actually,
that.
my best friend for the longest time, she lived in Chicago, and she's like, "Will you just send me some tissue paper? Because you
Would smell-
get to,
yeah.
it opens up, and
that's so fun.
yeah, you can always tell it when something comes from Euphoria.
That's so
Yeah,
fun.
the smell is still there, totally. It's less overwhelming, I think, now that we've gotten things out of there. I've heard that. I don't smell it anymore at all.
It's not bad at all. I mean,
No,
it's,
no.
it is one of those smells that brings a memory.
Olfactory
You know.
nerves, yep.
Yeah.
Bam. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. So, yeah, the Smell Good place, that's us. And jewelry, we custom jewelry, too. That's fun. I can't believe I didn't mention that because that is a huge part of Euphoria. We handpick all of our crystals and our beads. We handpick all of our jewelry. So that's something you can
Wow.
come to us knowing that we've sourced it with love.
I did just make a bracelet this weekend
You
at
did?
at a Bestie Fest. Yeah,
Oh.
little Taylor Swift, and then someone came up
yeah.
and handed me a DJ Joe Cruz bracelet during the
No.
night. Yeah,
Was
I
that your
blown
wife?
away. No,
It's probably him and 4 dudes
just
or
a
something.
big fan.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it was fun.
That is so cute.
All right,
Yeah.
we do have our final segment
Yeah.
of what do you like to do in Lincoln, in our great city?
We do have a great city.
In your free time when you're not teaching
So
classes.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's your one day.
Tuesdays. I find myself at Euphoria. Yeah, I like to be outside. You know where I think is a hidden gem, an outdoor anyway, is what is it? Salt. It's right off it's on O Street.
The Salt Creek?
Oh, where the bridge
Yeah.
and the
Like
all
that park
nice
area?
water thing.
Yes.
I don't know what do we call that? It's like 21st and O.
Yeah.
I drive past it every day.
There's a bike trail. Yeah, they've
Antelope Valley?
sure.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's a nice yeah.
It's cute.
It's
fun
really
little
neat. Yeah, they got
area.
a little parking area, and you can walk down around there.
A little splash pad now, too, in the summertime. So
Yep.
bring the
Yeah,
kiddos.
down farther.
Absolutely. In Lincoln, gosh, Yaya's is always a great place
Yep.
to go. Oh gosh, what is the Pepe's?
Pepe's.
Uh-huh.
I've
Food.
not been there yet.
Where's that located?
Oh, it's
yeah.
good. It's kind of down in the hood, like B Street, A Street, and 12th or so.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Pepe's Bistro, that's good. So yeah, eating is always fun to find places in
Yes.
Lincoln. There's some gems. Gosh, I meet so many people inside of Euphoria that's part of my social. You know, I talk to
Yep.
people and they're like, well, what do you do outside of, or where do you go to meet people? And I'm like, what?
Work?
Not everybody has this experience. So yeah, that's me, Euphoria.
Yeah.
Which you're basically always there. So you
am always there.
always come in and just talk to you
Yep.
or call. 'Cause that's-
Yeah,
it's
call
the only way to
Euphoria,
get you
right?
to answer the phone.
Right.
Well, I will have to stop in real soon and check out the new look of it and
Yeah, same.
and get that friendly smell or
Bring a can
distinct.
or something.
Yeah.
Bring a can.
Jar.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'll see you in for a session soon.
Yeah, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, you guys are closed. Wednesday. Wednesday.
But she,
Good one. Good
Henry,
one.
that might have been the funniest thing you've ever
Yeah.
done.
look at it.
Right.
Zing. All right.
I love
Thank
it.
you, everybody.
Thank you. Bam.